you know. Okay, so we're right about to start. So hey everybody, hey again. Um, let's have a quick recap of the previous and the current week. A couple of news. So yesterday was a webinar regarding the project interview tips. That could be useful for you, especially if you gain your first knowledge regarding passing technical interviews. So I highly recommend you to check it out if you, for some reason, missed that. So the recording is available, as well as I also would like to encourage you to go to the Google document. So here is the phrase bank of the phrases that you could use when you pass the interview in English, especially if you are not native English speaker and you experience some problems with forming your sentences and answering. So there are actually lots of interesting stuff you can find here. For instance, how to present yourself, from which you should start, and also some phrases when you actually answering the questions or expressing about your past experience and skills you possess for the current role. There is also whenever you prepare your presentation, there is also a technique called STAR. It's an abbreviation of situation, task, action, and result. So whenever you describe your achievements, so you most likely want to stick to that technique. So here is some examples that could help you to understand this technique in action. So for instance, you want to share, well, let's based on your experience. So let's say you don't have production experience. So for example, you could refer um, to your recent course tasks. Some of them could be challenging for you, or maybe some of the upcoming ones could it could be challenging. So in that case, you could describe. So, okay, I encountered that situation. That's the technology for me. It's too new, it's got too complex. Then in order to manage the results, I did this, and this. So that could be useful, especially if you already proposed for internship or for a project interview. So please, I highly recommend you to check it out and watch the recording. Uh, so I believe the information given could be very useful. Okay, and the meanwhile, let's check what we have currently. So for the current week, the following tasks should be already completed. So the unit tests should be submitted, as well as the self-presentation task. One more time to remind you that the self-presentation task is going to be checked by two ways, by the mentor himself and by the mean of the cross check. So ensure that you submitted the task for the cross check as well. And don't forget to check others as the regular cross check process. Cool. One more time, whenever you submitted a link with the intro to the private repository, and in case if you don't have and access to other students submitted links because they use private school repository. So please let us know so that we could uh, grant access or at least share somehow the increments that's been prepared as the self-presentation task. Uh, Also, if till the Friday you see that your task with the means of cross-check haven't been checked at all, also please let us know, especially me or Anna, so that we could try finding out. Okay, the next week, the current one, as we see, there are no any modules for you, as well as the assignments. So we see that we're close to the stage 2, down to the stage 3, that is fully dedicated to Angular. Well, also, I'm not quite remember whether I already answered the possible question, so React is not included. And that's because nowadays, according to the market research, we look at the current demand. Actually, Angular is more demanded rather than React. Again, it depends on the location, on the company. Maybe somewhere React is more demanded, but in overall situation, Angular has the higher demand than the React. So that's why we included Angular, but not React. But in any way, if you're interested in uh, self-studying of the React, we also have the set of modules prepared so that if you're interested in React, so we could share the link with you in case if you have free time and intention to look at the React, so why not? We will help you. Okay, so yeah, and get ready for the interview. Just one more time, please ensure that you contacted your mentor for the interview. It should be done by yourself, and it will be great if you do it as soon as possible, since mentors could have busy workloads as well as vacations. So it would be great if you schedule the interview as soon as possible. And the initiator of the contact is obviously you. So please contact your mentors for scheduling the interview, and also let us know in case if your mentor for the interview is not responding. Okay, and again, so in our schedule, here is a link for the list of the topics. Well, actually, I also already mentioned during our yesterday's webinar that if you look at the set of the question, that's actually the topics that should be enough for applying as a junior software engineer. Yes, so whenever you will be preparing for the project or company interview. So I believe that's could be useful for you. And maybe if you want to practice more, or maybe you want to review also like the core.js topics, I usually use Learn JavaScript Info as the reference. So you can go you can browse all the chapters one by one. So that's also could help you. And again, since any project or even our Code.js interview also consists of some coding tasks, so that would be great if you will take time to solve at least one or two coding tasks. I don't know, through the Code Wars, or also there is a course called Elite Code, so why not? So yeah, also please be prepared for the coding tasks, and whenever you hesitate, how you should think or which approach should be used while solving such tasks. So please refer to the yesterday's webinar recording. So I covered already such questions. Okay, so for the news, I believe this is it. Anna, do you have anything to highlight?
No, for now.
Okay, so Q&A time.
Yeah, I am
Olesya?
back. Yeah, I am back. Yes, I do have questions about this cruel task that you gave us last week with unit testing and polyfills, and tell us that we can't use anything except like a little amount of stuff. So my question is for our interview where we have like polyfill tasks, will it be the same?
Well, we are not able to answer this question because the coding task that you'll be given is fully depends on a particular interviewer. So actually, the task on the interview is designed not to take too much time, but the intention is to cover some particular topics that are as points of interest of the interviewer. So, for instance, the interviewer wants to cover DOM API or Events API. So most likely he will give you a small task that you need to implement to show how you understand the topic, so how you possess the knowledge. So that the coding task will be like simple to transform. So if we like scroll down a bit in the listing of the interview questions, there is a reference of the examples of the tasks that could be given, but it does not mean that exactly the same task will be given as the interview. So this is for your reference, what you should expect. So answering the questions, so they will not give such tasks as the recent task about unit tests and writing polyfills. But again, sometime I encounter that for instance, my interviewer some time ago asked me to write a polyfill for the function prototype bind, so how it works. But the polyfill itself, it's quite easy. So maybe it also could be an option. But again, we do not guarantee that you will not be given or you will be given because it's the interviewer's choice.
I can agree that polyfills can be easy, but it's like the same as I was looking for map polyfill JS, and they're telling me, okay, so in this polyfill you need to use push. You can't use push in our test. So okay, polyfill JS push. It's like it's this kind of like stuff like slices, which, as I understood, they took it from Ladash, right? Implemented into native JS. Now we can use it.
Yeah, but
Will
you can implement your helper function that will be reused while implementing other polyfills. Well, again, so in the interview, you are not expected to write two complex polyfills. So usually it takes like 3 or 5 lines in code. So this you shouldn't expect that.
Okay, great. And a question about helper functions. Like I did those through prototype. Was it supposed to be like actually like a function?
Perhaps didn't get you. Could you please repeat what
Well,
you're saying?
like I put it like instead of like I don't know, like array prototype push, right? I use like I wrote custom push and use it like that. Is it okay to write like that?
So
When
if it
it's
passes the
if
test, it's okay in case if others stated otherwise. But uh ideally, such questions should be asked for your mentor. Ideally, because they will so yeah, this task has been checked by the means of like the coverage percentage, yeah. But so your mentor is has lots of experience, so why don't ask them if you have such questions? But from my point of view, that's okay. So since we're writing like our, so the polyfill, the mean of polyfill is that, let's say, why the polyfills exist. So some of the applications like need to support outdated browsers like Internet Explorer, and in some cases, if you want to enable or integrate your application to the Internet Explorer, you might want to implement polyfills to the default objects like arrays object or function that are not implemented in the Internet Explorer. And in such case, so it means that you directly implements the methods to the prototype. So yeah, I would say it's okay.
okay, thank you very much.
Okay, is there anything anyone wants to ask? Okay, in that case I take the silence as yes. That's everything is good and we're good to close the call. So yeah, as usual, I will leave the follow-up with the key points. So be prepared for the interview, and also highly recommend paying attention to the yesterday's webinar recording with additional materials in case if you missed it. So in case of no any other questions, thanks everybody, and talk to you later.
I mean, I have a question about React Angular, but I don't know if it's going to recording or not.
Okay, we can stay. Okay.
No,
A
just
question about.
yeah. I'm just interested during the technical interview. Like, if I know that there will be like technical director or something and a React developer, and they're telling me that we will have some not tough coding tasks during the interview. My question is, do they like do you write any tasks in like React?
It's could be possible. However, one more time, just to repeat that, for the current level, it's not expected that you will possess in deep knowledge of the frameworks rather than having a hands-on experience. So the coding task in terms of React or Angular, it's possible, but to my mind, it will be task like to implement components, doing regular tasks with the frameworks that you get used to it. So I don't think you are expected to know some mechanism in deep in details. So that's why so some simple coding task could be used for checking your experience, but not such tasks as the core.js. So you expected to know the core.js in details, in deep details, but that's not applicable for the frameworks at the current stage.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I can live with that. I can survive that. Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much, Bas.
Okay, so are we good?
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. So thanks everybody one more time.
See you next week. Bye bye.
Have a good week and